Hello friends, welcome back to Front of Health. So today you have the AIAPGET 2020 exam. So we are trying to give you 100 Materia Medica last moment revision points. So some are from Boericke Materia Medica and most of them are from Alan's Keynote. We hope that you have covered almost all the pages of Alan's Keynotes and the important points from Boericke. So this will be a helpful revision video. So we'll go through the video. First symptom: child cries and whines if anyone touches it. It will not let you feel the pulse. Andym tart and andym crude and sanicular. Whenever there are three things, you have to expect a question like all of the above except, like that. So here pulse, the child is not allowing to feel the pulse. Andym tart, andym crude and sanicular. Next symptom: children fear of falling, grasp the crib or seize the nurse. Borax, sanicula, gelsemia. So again three things. So borax, sanicula and gelsemia. So here the core word is will not let you feel the pulse. And andym tart, andym crude, sanicula. Here grasp the crib or seize the nurse. So borax, sanicula, gelsemia. Assumes strange attitude and positions in bed. Plumbum met. Okay, so the question is about strange attitude and position. Some interesting symptoms we have collected. So plumbum met. Naturally of a sweet disposition, now on the borderland of insanity. So these things, borderland of insanity, tuberculinum, tubervenum. Okay, so these things are very important, interesting points. Borderland of insanity, tuberculinum. Cannot get a sleep unless legs are crossed. Rhododendron. So rhododendron, such medicines doesn't come to our mind directly when some mind symptoms are asked, but this is very interesting. Cannot get a sleep unless legs are crossed. Rhododendron. And feels that death is near and must hurry to settle affair. Petroleum. This also, sometimes we feel like arsenic album, something like that, but here must settle affair. So must hurry to settle the affair. Petroleum. Feels that death is near. Next one is ailments from suppressed grief and terrors of conscience, from duty done or bad act committed. Cyclamen. This symptom, some symptoms when we go through, we feel like okay, this may come this year in the exam. So such one symptom is this: ailments from suppressed grief and terrors of conscience, from duty not done or bad act committed. Cyclamen. So keep this in mind. We feel it is very important this time. Headache in occiput which is as heavy as lead. So petroleum again. So sometimes we feel like when lead comes in the option, we feel like writing like plumbum met or like that. So headache in occiput which is as heavy as lead, petroleum. So these things you keep in mind. Headache always hungry during when they feel hungry, they feel headache. Amelioration while eating. Anacardium. So anacardium we already know, but these two medicines you have to keep in mind: soranum and caliphos. So anacardium, soranum, caliphos. Amelioration of headache by eating. And sweat on face on a small, this is small, sorry, sweat on the face on a small spot only while eating. So Ignatia. This is very interesting and important, very repeatedly asked question. Another one, next question, which we feel very important because this kind of symptoms will come. Sunshine, light and wind are intolerable. Cold air or water very pleasant to the eyes. Asarum europaeum. So sunshine, light and wind are intolerable. Cold air or water very pleasant to the eyes. Asarum. When reading, the letters seem to turn, go up or disappear. Cicuta and cocculus. So these things you have to see. Cicuta. Eyes sensation as if room were filled with smoke. Crocus. So this also you have to keep in mind. Eyes sensation as if room were filled with smoke. Crocus. Intolerable pain in eyeballs. Could not turn the eyes without turning the whole body. Spigelia. So whole body, spigelia. Seems as if eyes were too large for the orbits. Actia, comocladia. So whenever a rare remedy is appearing in the Alan's Keynote, it is very interesting and important. So comocladia, actia. Seems as if eyes were too large for the orbits. Hearing confused, cannot tell from what direction a sound comes. Carbo animalis. So carbo animalis. Some important other like headache as if tornado, such symptoms are there. Epistaxis when coughing at night during sleep. Epistaxis, when coughing at night during sleep, hangs in a dark clotted string from the nose like an icicle. So icicle, when it comes these interesting birds which are not seen in any other place, these are very important. So epistaxis, icicle, so it hangs like an clotted string from the nose and like an icicle. So this whole symptom you keep in mind. Revise once again. Epistaxis, symptom of Merck's salt. Dyspnea or asthma, where the patient can only breathe by standing up. Everybody may know, but this is a revision. So standing up, amelioration by standing up, asthma amelioration by standing up cannot be sativa. With every explosive cough, there escapes a volume of pungent, fetid air, capsicum. So these things are very repeatedly asked. This question have appeared in many question papers. Explosive cough, escapes a volume of pungent, fetid air, capsicum. So the 19th point, want of breath in those engaged in athletic sports, coca. So these are very easy, like once you have read from the Allen's keynote, you may not forget, because these are very interesting and only one place it is appearing, athletic sports, etc. Coca. Cough has a gurgling sound as if water was being poured from a bottle, cupromet. Very interesting, and many will be knowing. Cough deep hollow like coughing in a barrel. So coughing in a barrel, Medor. So this thing you have to remember, coughing in a barrel, Medor. Next is dyspnea and sense of constriction, can inhale with ease but no power to exhale, Medorinum sambucus. No power to exhale, Medorinum and sambucus. Expectoration profuse like white of an egg. So expectoration like white of an egg, Stannum metallicum. Expectoration like white of an egg, Stannum metallicum, and profuse it is. Next one is saliva, all foods has a salty taste, Cyclamen. Again Cyclamen. So we have seen one duty not done symptom from Cyclamen, which is very important. So saliva and all food has a salty taste, Cyclamen. Hay fever, squirming sensation in the nostril as of a small worm, brought on by exposure to hot sun or intense summer heat. So Natrum, exposure to hot sun or intense summer heat, Natrum, and small worm, sensation as if a small worm. Okay. Sensation of lump in throat, descends on swallowing but returns immediately, Rumex. So sensation of lump in throat, descends on swallowing but it returns immediately, Rumex. Sacrum, extreme sensitiveness, cannot bear the slightest touch even of a soft pillow, Lobelia. So these kind of symptoms you have to keep in mind. Sacrum, extreme sensitiveness, cannot bear the slightest touch even of a soft pillow, Lobelia. Great sensitiveness between vertebra, sits sideways in chair to avoid pressure against spine. So sits sideways in chair, these are interesting modalities. So chininum sulfan theridion, you have to remember this. Sensitiveness of vertebrae and sits sideways in chair, some interesting modalities, chininum sulfan theridion. Sore and raw spots on feet, especially heel, from friction. So Allium cepa, we will never think, but Allium cepa mostly we will cover in from the first year, we will read many times. So these symptoms many will not forget, but don't get confused with other remedies which is having action on the soles or heel. So this is Allium cepa. Hamstrings feel painfully short when walking. Tension in joints as from shortening of the muscles. So three remedies again. So all of the below or all of the above except like that questions can come. Ammonium mure, causticum and Cymex. So hamstrings whenever it comes ammonium mure, causticum and Cymex. Hamstrings feel painfully short. Unsteady walking and easy falling of little children, causticum. So don't get confused with other sprain remedies or anything. So this is very important, causticum. Little children is very important here. Unsteady walking and easy falling of the little children, causticum. The fingers go to sleep and frequently and easily. So digitalis, this is a repeatedly asked question. Fingers go to sleep frequently and easily, digitalis. When singing or using the voice, aching and weakness in deltoid and arms. The question is related to singing or using the voice, but the modality or the accompaniment is aching and weakness in the deltoid and arms. So Stannum met, you have to remember this, Stannum met. Irritating dry sympathetic cough of organic heart disease. So organic heart disease, Naja and Spongia, you have to remember this. Then pulse suddenly increases and gradually decreases below normal. So Vertram viride, pulse. So whenever a question comes from Vertram viride, mostly it will be related to pulse or anything like that. So you can think that. Stomach, pressure as from load in one spot, bismuth. So one spot, so you can remember like load, bismuth, just remember that much, because next is pressure as from stone at pit of the stomach. So stone is something dry, so bryonia is for dryness, so remember like that. So bryonia, dryness. So pressure as from stone at pit of the stomach. So if it is stone, bryonia. Load in one spot, bismuth. Organ sensation in stomach in tea drinkers, pulsatilla. Organ sensation in stomach in tea drinkers, pulsatilla. Eructations frequent of very little wind, as if stomach were full of dry food, caladium. As if stomach were full of dry food, caladium. So these are very interesting. And chronic eructation for years, alumina. Then vomiting as soon as he raises head from pillow from a bright light. So stramonium. Stramonium, you can remember like it is a like light problem is there. So bright light, vomiting causes vomiting, and raises head from pillow also. Interesting modality, stramonium. Better going without regular meals, Natrum. Without regular meals, Natrum. So poor breakfast eaters, one symptom was there from Clark. It is for sulfur. It was repeatedly asked once. Constant discharge of flatus up and down for years, belching. So these symptoms, if it comes, antim crude, you have to remember, a remedy for governments for who are eating more. So constant discharge of flatus up and down for years, belching. Vomiting of drunkards in pregnancy, cancer of dark, vomiting of cancer, then of dark olive green fluid. So vomiting of olive green fluid color. So if it comes, carbolic acid and pyrogen. Then vomiting of cancer, vomiting of pregnancy. Then urine of a deep orange red color, very repeatedly asked question. Urine of a deep orange red color, copious red sediment, lobelia. These are repeatedly asked questions. Constant desire to urinate on seeing running water, lysinum, cantharis and sulfur. So again three things, so take care. So urinate on seeing or seeing running water, lysinum, cantharis and sulfur. So this is about urination. Don't get confused with ferment symptoms like vertigo on seeing running water. So quantity of urine voided is larger than the amount of water drunk. Again an interesting symptom, mercurius. Hematuria, blood thoroughly mixed with the urine, sediment like coffee ground like sediment in urine, terebinth, cloudy and albuminous. So hematuria remedy, terebinth. Obstinate constipation causing retention of the urine, constriction of anus, cannabis sativa. So here the interesting accompaniment of constipation is retention of urine and constriction of anus, cannabis sativa. Constipation with the odor of Limburger cheese, sanicula and selenium. So constipation, again on constipation symptom, and Limburger cheese with odor of Limburger cheese. Then obstinate constipation for years. Rectum seems tied up with strictures. When enema was used, the agony of passage was like labor. That is a very interesting symptom. Syphilinum, lacaneinum and tubovenum. So you can remember lacaneinum, labor, then syphilinum and tubovenum, some important miasmatic remedies. Just remember like that. And diarrhea from boiled milk, Nux moscata. Diarrhea with the sago-like particles, phosphorus. Everybody may know this symptom because it is very repeatedly read in the Allen's keynote also. So sago-like particles, phosphorus. Dysentery with ischuria, fruitless urging, long interval between the stools. So here dysentery is the symptom, and and also you have to keep in mind like long intervals between the stools, arnica. Then pile swollen pain most severe when sitting, tuja. Repeatedly asked question, pile swollen pain most severe when sitting, tuja. Again another symptoms like discharge of blood from genitals during every stool. So don't get confused with other symptoms like during lactation, like silesia symptoms and all. So this is lycopodium, discharge of blood from genitals during every stool. This is about stool. And severe left-sided inframammary pains, actia and ustilago. So these things you have to keep in mind. Severe left-sided inframammary pains, actia and ustilago. Menses by putting hands in cold water conium maculatum, lac defloratum. So don't get confused with phosphorus symptoms of vomiting in warm water, putting hand in warm water and all. So menses by putting hands in cold water, conium mac and lac defloratum. We'll bring on menses when natrum mure though apparently indicated fails. So when natrum mure fails in menstrual problems, calicarb. At every menstrual nisus, throat and tongue become intolerably dry, nux muscat and tarantula. So menstrual nisus, all these terms are very interesting, and throat and tongue become intolerably dry. Menstrual nisus intolerably dry, nux muscat and tarantula, that much you remember. Then menorrhagia has not been well since her last miscarriage, sulfur. Don't think about any other remedies like sepia, pulsatilla, etc. So here it is not well since last miscarriage, sulfur. And according to Kend, never well since last pneumonia, calicarb, like that symptoms are there. And eczema, no itching, cicuta. Eczema without itching is no itching is cicuta, and without eruptions, itching without eruptions, dolichos. That is very repeatedly asked question. Even UPSC question papers also you can see itching is there but no eruptions, so dolichos. And here it is eczema is there, no itching, cicuta. Eczema, white bran-like scales, tuberculin. Tuberculin, you know, it is a very good remedy for eczema. So whenever it is there in option, just see bran-like scales is given or not. So tuberculin. Fever paroxysms return at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. So cactus fever modality. Again podophyllum fever modality. Fever paroxysm at 7 a.m. with great loquacity. This is a concomitant during chill and heat. When Rustox seems indicated but fails to cure in chronic urticaria, Rustox fails, Bovista. This you have to keep in mind. Don't think so much. And fever annually returning paroxysms every spring. So lachesis is a remedy for annually returning paroxysms of fever in every spring. Also in brackets it is given carbovage and sulfur. So don't forget this carbovage and sulfur. So three remedies: lachesis, carbovage and sulfur. So if any remedy like returning like arsenic album or cedron is there in the option, remove that. And LCS you can remember, or SCL, like that. So fever annually returning, lachesis, carbovage and sulfur. Phosphorus removes the bad effects of iodine and excessive salt of table use. Excessive use of table salt. So bad effects of iodine and excessive use of table salt, phosphorus. And after a bell fails in scarlatina, these are the relationship symptoms, interesting symptoms. After bell fails in scarlatina, sanguinaria. And as a dynamic remedy for the narcosis of opium, sanguinaria again. And lack of vital heat in chronic diseases, sepia. Lack of vital heat in acute diseases, ledempal. So these symptoms you have to remember. When symptoms reappear, they change locality or go from one side of the body to the other and include. So this kind of symptoms in relationship part you just keep in mind. When symptoms reappear, they change the locality or go from one side of the body to the other and include. Mosquito and insect bites burn and itch intensely. So mosquito bite, caladium, burn and itch intensely. And sensation as if drops of water falling on or from single parts on the head, from the anus, stomach, heart, cannabis sativa. And we will see some 25 more symptoms. Person suffering from ulceration of the lungs can scarcely get well without this antisoric, calicarb. This is a quote by Hahnemann. So you have to remember this, calicarb. Person suffering from ulceration of the lungs can scarcely get well without this antisoric, calicarb. Hydrothorax, if occurring from heart or liver diseases, dyspnea, has to sit, cannot lie down. Merck sulf. So hydrothorax, whenever it comes, you have to remember Merck sulf. Then you see the other symptoms like it, if occurring from heart or liver disease, dyspnea, has to sit. So in dyspnea modalities, cannot lie down, has to sit. So it may appear like a case also. You have to remember Merck sulf in hydrothorax case. Fetus appears to be turning somersault. So lycopodium. This is very interesting and repeatedly asked. Fetus appears to be turning somersault. Then sensation as if trembling all over without real trembling, internal trembling of drunkards. So there won't be real trembling but sensation as if trembling all over. We can't see a trembling. They will feel trembling. So internal trembling of drunkards. Sulfuric acid is the remedy. Sulfuric acid is a drunkard remedy. You can remember like that. injurious effects of injurious effects of fruits, especially more watery ones, are solved. These symptoms are from Boericke actually. So injurious effects of fruits, especially more watery ones, are solved. Rachitic enlargement of femur bone in infants. So calcarea fluor, you should know that it is a rachitic remedy. So dislocation of patella on going upstairs, cannabis sativa. Patella going upstairs, cannabis sativa. Snoring, especially in children, cinchona. Post-operative gas pains, no amelioration passing it. So post-operative gas pains, no amelioration by passing this gas or wind, cinchona. Cough from excessive use of voice, minister's sore throat. So minister's sore throat, cholinsonia, minister's sore throat. Goiter of puberty and pregnancy, hydrastis. Hydrastis we may not remember, like we may get confused by options like iodine and all. So goiter of puberty and pregnancy, hydrastis. Angina pectoris with pain in right arm, Lilium tig. So angina pectoris, pain in right arm. So these symptoms you have to remember, Lilium tig. Albuminuria in whole pregnancy, Helonius. Then constipation of travelers who are constantly changing food and water, Platina. So don't think about other remedies like ailments from food and water like gingiber, etc. So here it is about the travelers, constipation. It is constipation of travelers who are constantly changing food and water, Platina. Then fear of being assassinated. Last year this question was appeared as a case. It was appeared from Boericke. So plumbum met. Very hungry, always must have something to eat in the middle of the night. Hungry in the middle of the night, Sorainum. Great loquacity during fever, Podophyllum. Then often indicated in after abuse of iron tonics. These are interesting things, pulsatilla. So remember, like pulse females are anemic, so they use so much of iron tonics. So they are this pulse is useful for after abuse of iron tonics. Rheumatism in hot season, rhododendron. Rotten neck taste when coughing, whooping cough that drags on. So rotten neck taste when coughing, sepia. Remember all these symptoms, it may come. Very selfish, no regard for others. So this is sulfur. Very selfish, no regard for others. Dull aching about the last dorsal or first lumbar vertebra, worse sitting. So whenever some numbers are given, some interesting locations are given, these are important. So Singham met. Dull aching about the last dorsal or first lumbar vertebra, worse by sitting. So sitting is the problem. So Singham met. Tea taster's cough, always repeatedly asked, kali iode. So cholinsonia, minister's sore throat. Tea taster's cough, kali iode. Sleeps with legs far apart, Platina. Can be used effectively in gastric and duodenal ulcers and stimulates the growth of epithelium on ulcerated surface. Symphytum, we may never think for a gastric complaint or ulcer in the stomach, because symphytum we believe like a bone remedy. So it can be used effectively in gastric and duodenal ulcers and stimulate the growth of the epithelium on the ulcerated surface, symphytum. So we wish you all a very best for AIAPGET 2020 and come out with a huge success. All the best wishes once again.